Do you really understand what causes dyslexia? One of the major frustrations of our clients is how many people have absolutely no idea what dyslexia is or where it comes from. Dyslexia is a condition that's neurobiological in origin. It literally means that the brain responds differently, but only when language tasks are being used. It doesn't mean that these brains aren't nearly the same when they're at rest. It also doesn't mean that the person with dyslexia is any less intelligent. In fact, there are significant gifts and unique traits that the person with dyslexia possesses. But what is very different is the way that the brain processes language. As you can see, there's significantly less activity in the back part of the brain, which is called the occipital lobe. This controls vision. Another major difference is in the area over the ear, which we call the parietal temporal lobe. There are major differences and in some cases entirely absent activity in how the brain sees and hears sounds and symbols. This becomes a major problem when the client is trying to spell something. Their brain not only doesn't hear the word right half the time, but it's almost impossible for their brain to connect sight and sound enough to include the appropriate letters. Often letters are added, missing, leaving others to think it's a matter of intelligence when really it's because the brain isn't activated for language. This also becomes a problem when clients are trying to read or decode words, whether it turns into amnesia where the same letters come into the brain, but it's like the brain has never seen those letters before. Or it might be more like guessing, where the client might get the first letter or two correct, but everything else is a guess. This is beyond frustrating for the child, for the parent, and for anyone trying to educate them, as it can often feel like spinning on a hamster wheel, but never making any progress. But here's the great news: the brain can change. What we now know over thousands of studies is that the brain not only responds to treatment, but it can perform incredibly quickly when prompted to do the right tasks for the right duration and intensity. Want to know more about how to do this type of neurological rehabilitation right within your own home and maybe even wearing your pajamas? I'm Dr. Rebecca Troy for Train the Dyslexic Brain. Follow us to learn more. Remember, change is possible.